Africa is now the center of all desires. This is qualified by some political analysts as a repeat of the partition of Africa. Like certain world powers including Japan, France, China, United States of America and India, Russia is holding its summit with Africa. The meeting is taking place in St. Petersburg amid the Russia-Ukraine war. According to University Dawn, Alphonse Bena Amugumbarga, the context of the Russia-Africa summit highlights some lessons. He says, despite the negative attributes labeled on Africa, it remains a subject of international desire. Despite the tragedies of immigration and difficult living conditions in her countries, Africa is showing resilience, and curiously, it is the continent with the strongest prospects of economic growth. In another perspective, the University Dawn says the summit reaffirms the fact that Africa has a say in the world market. To him, the summit shows that the world is changing. He thinks that though Africa does not have a country as a permanent member with veto power in the United Nations Security Council, it is able to draw new lines of international relations. Since the start of the war in Ukraine, African countries have not taken a stand against Russia despite pressure from the West, especially France and the United States. Africa seems to be drawing closer to Russia as Western support for Ukraine grows. This can be seen in Mali under Assimi Goïta, President Touadéra's Central African Republic, Cameroon's defense agreement with Russia, and the future BRICS summit in South Africa. In this regard, political science and international relations experts hold the opinion that Africa stands on a stronger position to obtain a lot of economic, political, and military benefits from the summit. A school of thought upholds the idea that food security should be the priority of African leaders at the summit. African countries need grains and fertilizer, and Russia is desperate not to lose its African allies. Thus, securing a new deal should be on the table in St. Petersburg. Another area where there are possible fallouts for Africa is trade. Several analyses point to the idea that African leaders are expected to negotiate a new program that will allow them to increase their volume of exports to Russia, something like the Growth and Opportunity Act, which allowed sub-Saharan African countries to export products to the United States tariff-free.